Hi everyone. So, the level of, or the age level, developmental level of kids that I want to work with as a counselor would be junior high level. That's where I've worked the past 5 years, teaching sixth graders. So I have really enjoyed that age level. I would be open to high school if the opportunity presented itself, but I feel like my heart is with junior high students, and so that's really where I would like to be. And I would like to be in the school that I'm currently working in. Hopefully that's an option. The current counselor, I think she's going to retire. Well, I know she is. She told me soon. So I would hope that is an option. I've been in the school district this will be my 10th year working in the school district, and so I enjoy where I am. I enjoy the school that I work at, and I enjoy all of the people that I work with. So I would really love to stay where I am, but we will just see what happens. So, of the vignettes that we watched, it was hard to pick between two of them. I was kind of torn between the last two. But the one that I'm going to go with is the one about there were two kids that weren't coming to school, and they didn't really feel like school had any meaning to them. And so I picked that one because we see that problem a lot where I work. Not necessarily the not coming to school part. There are a few kids I know that have a hard time coming to school. I mean, maybe by a few, like a few handfuls, but I wouldn't say overall that's a huge issue. There are several. But more of what I'm thinking as far as that one went was the kids were kind of complacent, kind of just like, it is. I don't really know what I want to do. Maybe I do. Maybe I want to be an actor. Maybe I want to be a writer. But they were kind of just, and they kind of didn't really see how anything that they were learning in school now would help them in the future. And so I know we see that a lot with the kids in my class. It's hard to motivate them sometimes because I have so many kids, or we have so many kids at our school that are just kind of like present, but not really. They're there because their parents dropped them off in the morning, not because they care much about anything they're doing. And so I don't know, it's hard to understand why that is. I don't know if nobody's pushing them at home, or if they feel like situations are hopeless for them and education isn't going to help, or maybe they just are in the present and they're not thinking about how junior high is going to affect their future. So that's kind of where I am with that. I know we had a girl last year that missed more days of school than she actually was there. But in our district, I know in the video they were saying like if you got 10 days or more, then they would drop you from your classes. So, we don't do that. I guess maybe because it's junior high, but I don't think they do that in high school either. you still have to go. You just don't get the credits at the end of the year. But they give them so many opportunities also, like you can go to summer school to make up the hours. You can come to Saturday school to make up the hours. So there are those options, which, like, I feel are good and bad, because it's good because, like, for the kids that are having personal problems or reasons why they can't come to school or, things like that, it's good to give them the opportunity to make up that time. But I'm kind of against it as far as some things go, because I feel like, for one, making up the hours, you're just sitting there. They'll have them come to Saturday school and just sit there and read a book for 4 hours. And so I'm like, you missed school, you missed lessons, you missed activities that are things that you're going to learn. So sitting in a room for 4 hours reading, you're not getting the same thing back. So that's part of why I don't agree with that. And then also, I feel like kids sometimes are like, well, it's okay if I miss too much school. I can just make it up later. It's all right. I'll miss today. I'll miss this whole week. I'll just make it up later in Saturday school. I can go sit in Saturday school and read for 4 hours, and I'll make up the time. So it's kind of a safety net for them. They feel like there's not really any consequence other than they have to go sit in Saturday school for a couple hours and be done with it. So that's kind of where I am on that. But from the reading, some things that I read to kind of address this topic, there's a few. So the first one was the websites that the book talked about in chapter 8, to get middle school kids thinking about careers, because a lot of times when I talk to kids about their future or kind of like what their plans are, they don't know. They're just kind of like, I haven't really thought about it. Most of the time they don't really know. So I liked the idea of the websites that kind of had them going through their likes, their qualities, their skills, and gave them some career ideas based on that. So that I think that's a good idea for middle school kids, to kind of give them a starting point. And it may not be anything that they go with in the future, but it's a starting point. Something that can show them that if these are the things you like to do, these are your talents, these are your skills, these are things you enjoy, then these are the careers that would go with that. So I would definitely look into doing something like that with all of the middle school kids, and getting them to explore those options. We do have a class in the middle school I work in. It's called AVID. Well, it's AVID in high school. In the middle school, we call it Succeed. But in the middle school, they actually, for most of the year, in Succeed, they look into colleges and careers. They write colleges to get information. So they do a lot of that at the middle school. And every 6th grader is required to take Succeed. So it's basically a year of college and career investigations and preparing study skills and stuff like that. So that's a really good class. So I would think that they would be able to do these online surveys in their Succeed classes. So that was one thing. And then, flipping through my notes, hold on. Let's see. The book talks about PLCs, which was familiar for me because we do PLCs at my school. Kind of. We do PLCs as far as they're called PLCs, but really it's just the three of us science teachers, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We meet 3 times a week during a class period. We look at test data and kind of help each other plan lessons, but that's kind of as far as it goes. It's a little bit hard when there's only one. Like, I'm the only 6th grade teacher at my school, so it's not like I can meet with all the 6th grade teachers and we could talk about, the 6th grade science teachers, and we could talk about individual kids and individual concerns and strategies. It would be nice if all of the 6th grade teachers could have a PLC time together to do that. But I think timing is kind of hard to kind of fit all that in with schedules. Also, I would, if, as the counselor, if I was the counselor, I would want to attend the PLCs. Our counselor doesn't do that. And I don't know if it's because of other duties, or I don't really know the reason why. She just doesn't. But as the counselor, I would think that I would want to attend the PLCs so that the teachers could share with me any kind of concerns they're having about kids in their class, students that are falling behind, students that they're worried about, students that aren't coming to school, or students that just seem like they don't care. So if I could be involved in those conversations, then I would be able to have a better idea of which kids need to be pulled out, so that I could speak with them. So that would be another idea. What was that one? Classroom guidance lessons, I think, is a really good idea for kids. Like, in one of the videos that I watched, I think it was the first one, the Chen Hayes, I think was his name, he mentioned that he wanted to come into that he had 6 kids that he was talking to about behavior and anger management issues in this one teacher's class. So he had mentioned that he would like to come and do some guidance lessons in the class. And so I also think that would be a good idea, especially if there's a large group of the kids who are kind of goofing off or kind of not finding much purpose. So it would be good to do some guidance lessons with the whole class. And I know sometimes teachers don't necessarily like that because it takes away from their classroom instruction time, which is precious, I know. But I feel like it would benefit them in the long run, definitely. Especially, which is another point I was going to bring up, is collaborative learning, which I love collaborative learning, but in the middle school, I've seen it's a struggle sometimes just with the kids getting along. They fight so much. They don't like each other. They don't like this one. I don't want to sit by him. Don't make me work with him. And so they fight, they argue. And so I feel like at the beginning of the year, for the counselor to have those guidance lessons with the class as a whole, to work on some skills like that, getting along, working with others, working with people that you may not necessarily like, but still being respectful, working as a team, and getting along, and not being mean and hateful to other kids. So I think that would be a positive thing to do also. And I think that all of these things would make kids enjoy school better and find more purpose in it. Our school's big on collaborative learning, and I know that a lot of kids are kind of, don't make me do this, because either they don't like working with other certain people. They don't like working with certain people, or because maybe they are the person that other people don't like working with and they get made fun of and picked on, and so that's kind of like a negative for them. So I feel like if the students were taught those skills on how to work together and how to get along and appreciate each other's differences, then everyone would enjoy school and the processes a lot better. And enjoy coming to school. That goes along with just getting along in general. Junior high is such a hard time, with the hormones and the changes and stuff, that a lot of meanness goes on, and bullying, and cliques, and it makes kids not want to come to school because of those reasons. So I feel like if that was addressed, then maybe those kids would enjoy coming more often. So I think that is all I had on that topic. So see you guys later.